Are you looking for a small travel trailer that you can tow with maybe an SUV or a half-ton pickup truck? Well, stick around, folks. We found some amazing travel trailers that weigh under 4,000 pounds. Hey everybody, Mike from RVBlogger here in front of the camera, and Susan's behind the camera. And if you've seen us before on YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time seeing us, welcome aboard. Susan and I travel all around the country visiting RV dealerships and RV shows to shoot our RV reviews and bring them to you right in the comfort of your home. And if you don't already know about it, we invite you to check out our amazing private Facebook group called RV Camping for Newbies. We have hundreds of thousands of people in the group, and if you have any questions at all, you put them in the group. A bunch of people will be very helpful and help you out. Plus, you can meet other campers and learn great places to go camping. It's just a lot of fun. So check out RV Camping for Newbies. We'd love to see you inside the group. But without any further ado, let's get started on our review of awesome travel trailers that weigh less than 4,000 pounds. This travel trailer is the Dutchmen Colorado, model number 17BHC. It has an unloaded vehicle weight of 3,037 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 953 pounds for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 3,990 pounds. The hitch weight is 399 pounds. It measures in at 21 feet, 5 inches long, and it can sleep up to 5 people. The gray tank capacity is 28 gallons, the black tank is also 28 gallons, and the freshwater tank capacity is 21 gallons. When you first walk into this travel trailer, on the right-hand side is where the bed is located. Then we wrap on around through the dinette and kitchen area. Bunk beds are on my left, and the bathroom's behind me. Now, our first impression when we walked into this RV is that this has everything you need for a basic travel trailer. It could be a fantastic option for a family that's looking to save a few bucks on a camper, but still get out and enjoy some long weekends together and have a great time in the great outdoors. Now, on my right-hand side here is where the bed is located. And again, it's just very simple. Up top here, you have a shelf that you can stow some things away. I would imagine, you might bring like a soft duffel bag full of your clothes and be able to pop those duffel bags up here once you're at your campground. Your bed itself, it looks like it's a pretty decent size. Let's find out how big it is. It's 74 inches and it is about 60 inches wide. And so this would be considered a short queen size bed in an RV. A normal queen size bed would be 80 inches long, and this one is 74. It's a very common size that you'll find in travel trailers. Underneath of the bed, there's even a little bit of storage under here that you can access as well. So you can put more clothes or comforters or pillows or things like that underneath of your bed. At this end of the bed, there's like a little shelf that's here, and there actually is storage underneath of that that you can access from outside of the RV. But there's also a receptacle here. So if you wanted to plug in anything here that you needed, like, plug in your phones or computer overnight, you could do that. Up top here is where your TV would mount on the wall. There's a receptacle up in the ceiling as well as a cable outlet here. And so if you put this on a swing arm, you'd be able to see it while you're laying in bed or swing it out and see it from the dinette, however you would like to set that up. Now, right next to your bed is where the dinette is located. And this dinette can seat 4 people. The table itself is a freestanding table. So you can move it around. You could take it outside if you wanted to and use it out there if you needed, but it's really easy to move it around. And I like the fact that it's freestanding. Now, the table itself will also drop down and the dinette will convert into a bed. And if we were to do that, let's get some measurements on it. You would end up with a bed here that's about, we'll call it 71 inches by about 40 inches wide. So, a kid would be able to sleep here pretty easily, maybe a smaller sized adult. Over top of the dinette, we have this cabinetry here with a nice glass panel built into it. You can access some storage in here very easily. And then, of course, you've got a window over top of your dinette table. Now, if you were going to sit here and do some trip planning or work on your computer or something like that, there actually is a plug underneath on one of the dinette booths that you can plug in under there. And both of the dinette booths have storage underneath of them as well, so you can store some stuff under there. Now, right across from the dinette booth is where the kitchen is located. Up top here, we have these two nice doors with, you know, just lift them up and store things in there. Now, since this is a more basic camper, it doesn't really have the hardware in it that will hold the doors up for you. So you have to hold it up and reach in there. Not a big deal. You can buy the hardware online so that when you put these in the up position, they stay there, which makes access a little bit easier. Underneath of the cabinet, you've got a light here, and it turns on and off at the location, which is a nice feature. Then you have a really nice size window over top of the kitchen sink. Kitchen sink itself is a little small in my opinion. It's not really deep enough. The size of it is probably okay, but it should be a little bit deeper. But it does have a gooseneck faucet overhead. And then we have a 2-burner stove here that's turned front to back, so it does help save some countertop space. On this side of the kitchen sink is where you'll find an outlet. And so if you needed to plug in your coffee maker or toaster or blender if you're making margaritas, boom, you got everything right there. There is a drawer here for your kitchen utensils. And under that, we have some storage, really nice size storage there, and then a little bit of storage underneath of your kitchen sink as well. Now, just beyond the kitchen burners and all that is where your microwave and refrigerator are located. But I do want to point out that this is called an inline kitchen setup. All it means is that all of your kitchen features are all in a line. It's a very efficient use of space. Up top here, we've got our microwave oven, and then down below that, we have a small refrigerator, and there is a little freezer area up top for a couple of ice trays. I don't know about you guys, I enjoy cocktails, not beers, and so I would need a lot more ice than what you could make in here. So you can always buy like a countertop ice maker and take that with you in your camper. I wrote an article about the 5 best ice makers that you can buy. I used to own and use one myself. So check that out if you're interested. We'll put the link over to that article in the show notes down below. You know, a countertop ice maker will be perfect in this type of RV. Just to my left over here is where the bunks are located. Now, when we look at bunk beds, we try to look at, you know, 4 major features that really make a bunk bed fully useful and functional for when your kids are sleeping in here. Now, one of those features is a light, the other is a window, and then the other is USB or C ports, and then finally an electrical outlet. This particular bunk has 2 of those 4 features up top, and then down below, it's got 2 features down there. The 2 features up top are the USB and the light. The 2 features down below are a window and a light. There is no USB or outlet down below. So if the kids need anything charged, they'd have to charge it before they went to bed if they were sleeping on the bottom bunk. A couple of things to point out here. The top bunk has a 300-pound capacity. Now, let's talk about your bunk capacities for a minute. Just because it says 300 pounds, a 300-pound person could sleep on here because it's dead weight, right? You're not rolling down the road. If you're driving down the road, do not think you can put 300 pounds worth of gear up here, because as your travel trailer's bouncing as it drives down the road, that 300 pounds could, you know, break through here and hurt your bunk. Down below, there's a really cool feature where you can lift it up, and there's even some storage underneath of this bunk, which is a great feature. So let's get a quick measurement on these bunks and see what we have. They are 73 inches, and they are both, we'll call it 28 inches wide. So they're really perfect for a couple of kids to be able to sleep here very, very comfortably. Now here we are in the bathroom all the way in the back of this trailer, and I'm standing here in the shower. Now there is a little vent here. It doesn't have a vent fan. It's just a vent that opens in the roof. And when I'm standing here with my head in the vent fan, there's only an inch overhead. So you've got about 6 feet of height before you hit the screen on the fan in here. The overall ceiling height throughout the camper outside of the shower is going to be 6 feet 3 inches. So for your taller folks, you know, this one might be a bit of a tight squeeze, but for your average height people, this could be a great choice. Now the shower itself is just very, very basic, right? It's got a basic shower set up here with a basic shower wand. And then it's got a shower curtain here as well. Now, there's no place in here for you to hang up or store any shampoo or soap. So in that case, we would probably get, you know, a separate shelf and mount it on the wall in here so you can store that stuff, or maybe one of those mesh, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them, honey? Those mesh packs?
Toiletry holder?
A toiletry holder, and you could mount that on the wall. But there are a lot of aftermarket products that you can buy to hold your soap and shampoo for you. Also in here, there's no shower surround. This is just the regular trailer walls that are throughout this entire trailer, and they've just caulked all the corners really well to make sure it doesn't leak. So again, it's a very basic setup. It's perfectly fine to do that, but if you did buy this kind of a trailer, you'd have to make sure all of your caulk joints are in good condition before you take a shower. Remember, when you're driving up and down the road, your RV is going to flex a little bit, and some of these caulk joints may crack over time, and then water can get behind those cracks and cause damage. So in that case, you just want to make sure you maintain things really well and make sure that caulk is maintained especially well. Now, outside of the shower, again, very basic. There's no sink in here, so you'd probably have to get like a hand sanitizer dispenser and mount that on the wall. So after you use the bathroom, boom, you got some hand sanitizer here and you're good to go. There is a little hook here on the wall for a towel, but I'd put more. You know, you're going to have more than one person that needs a towel. You could mount them at several places in here, have plenty of hooks for towels and things to hang and dry. Finally, when I'm sitting here on the commode, man, I'm really close to passing the elbow test on my left, but on my right-hand side, I've got plenty of room. Now here we are outside the camper, and remember inside at one end of the bed I showed you where there was some storage area underneath. Well, this is it right here, and you've got an okay amount of storage space. Travel trailers really aren't really that great for storage towards the outside of them, so you do have one storage compartment here that you can access. Everything else though, you're going to have to stow it inside while you're rolling down the road. This travel trailer is the Jayco Jay Flight SLX, model number 170BH. It has an unloaded vehicle weight of 3,000 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 795 pounds for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 3,795 pounds. The hitch weight is 315 pounds. It measures in at 21 feet 3 inches long, and it can sleep up to 5 people. The gray tank capacity is 20 gallons, the black tank is also 20 gallons, and the freshwater tank capacity is 30 gallons. When you first walk into this travel trailer, on the right-hand side is where your bed is located. Then we wrap on around through the dinette and kitchen area. On my left is where your bunk beds are, and behind me is the bathroom. Now, our first impression when we walked into this RV is that it feels pretty spacious for a smaller RV that does not have any slide outs. It just feels nice and roomy in here. You've got everything you need for a great camping trip. Now, on my right-hand side here is where the bed is located. Up top here, we have a nice size storage area. It's all wide open here, but I would probably get some cargo netting or something and install it here across the front so things don't fall out while you're traveling down the road. Just an idea. On the right-hand side, you have a little wardrobe cabinet here with a mirror door on the front, so that's really a nice thing. Your TV location is right here also, so you can mount your TV on the wall, plug it in right here. You've got your cable outlet here as well, and then you can see the TV from both your bed and the dinette very, very easily. Now, the bed itself, let's get a measurement on this real quick. Oh, wow, it's 80 inches and it is 60 inches wide. So this is a residential queen-sized mattress that's in here. So that's great. That's a really nice size mattress to have. You'll be very comfortable on there, except for one little problem. You won't be very comfortable on there. You know why? Because in brand new RVs, they usually supply you with a pretty inexpensive, cheap mattress, right? They're usually 4 or 5 inches thick. They're not very good quality at all. They'll get you by for a year, but at some point you're going to start waking up with backaches and you're not going to be sleeping real well through the night. We had the same issue with both of our RVs. We had to go and buy a better mattress at some point. Now, if you're going to do that, we recommend that you sign up for our awesome newsletters, just go to RVBlogger.com. On the home page, you can sign up right there. We've had over 160,000 people sign up for our newsletters. And why? Because they like to read all of our informative articles and also see our videos. But we also put awesome discounts in there for our viewers and subscribers. We reach out to all kinds of folks related to the RV industry. And we have mattresses from RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, where you can get a 30% discount. So we put all that stuff out in our newsletters, and if you want to get that stuff, like I said, just hit us up at RVblogger.com, sign up, and then you'll get all the discounts for all these great products that we have and recommend. And these are things that we use ourselves, by the way. We don't have discount codes, and we don't recommend stuff that we don't use ourselves. So hit us up, and we'll get you ready to go on the road with a brand new quality mattress instead of the one that just comes with your RV. Now you'll also notice at the foot of the bed here, there is a receptacle and a USB port, and there's a little bit of a shelf here. This is actually over top of some storage that you can access from outside of your RV, and we'll take a look at that at the end of the tour. But there's also additional storage here underneath of your mattress, and you can sort of see the exterior door that you can get to there, but you can reach everything much easier coming inside and getting to it from underneath of your RV mattress. Now on the other end of the bed here, they have a wall-mounted AC unit. Now there's a lot of benefits to the wall-mounted AC units. One of them is that they're very inexpensive. So if anything ever happens to this, you could easily replace it for, less than a couple of $100. The other thing is it keeps the price of the RV much lower than the roof-mounted AC units that you see on most RVs. Those are much more expensive, in the neighborhood of a couple $1,000, or at least over $1,000 anyway, whereas these are under $200. So helps to keep the price down, and if anything ever goes wrong with it, very easy to replace. Now the dinette in here is very comfy. I like the nice cushions that they have in here. You could sit in here and, 4 people could very easily sit here. And the way that this dinette table works is it actually hooks to the wall, and then it just has one pole on this end to hold it up. So my feet can fit under here much easier. We've seen some RVs that actually have 2 of these poles underneath. It's not as stable of a table, and there's nowhere to put your feet. But 4 people could sit here pretty comfortably and enjoy a meal. But up above here, we have a nice cabinet here where you can store some things away. There's a light right here that lights up the table nicely. We have a nice window over top of the dinette table as well. And under this side of the booth, there's additional storage here as well. Now the table here will drop down, and this can also convert into another bed if you need it to. And if you were to do that, you would end up with a bed that is 71 inches by 38 inches. And so a child would be able to sleep here very comfortably and be nice and cozy at night. Across from the dinette is where your kitchen is located. This is an inline kitchen because everything's in a line. Starting from up top here, you've got this nice big storage cabinet here. And then next to that, we've got our microwave oven. Below here, we have this open storage area. It's pretty big. Again, I would probably install some cargo netting or something here to hold things in place while you're driving down the road so they don't fall out. The kitchen also has a 2-burner stove here, and I love the fact that they turn the burner sideways, so the burners go front to back. It just gives you a little bit more countertop space in here. The sink itself is a single bowl sink. I wish this sink was a little deeper. I think it would be very difficult to wash dishes with this shallow of a sink, but it's got a gooseneck faucet overhead, and then of course you have a nice window over top of that. And then you do pick up some extra countertop space on this side of the sink, and there's a receptacle here. So if you want to set up your coffee pot, boom, there you go. You're in a great spot for that. Down below, we have plenty of storage here underneath of the kitchen sink. I mean, that's just a ton of storage under there. And then we have a couple of drawers here for all of your kitchen utensils. And then below that, there's additional open storage as well. One last thing in the kitchen is the refrigerator here. Now this is just a small size fridge. The door actually swings the wrong way, in my opinion. You would want the door to swing this way, so it'd be easier to access things. And it's very easy to switch the door swings on most refrigerators. You can look it up on YouTube and learn how to do it yourself. It's very, very simple to do. But this small fridge is plenty of room for an adventure-packed weekend, and it even has a spot up top here where you can have a couple of ice trays for some ice cubes. Now, just across from the fridge is where the bunk beds are located. These bunk beds, let's get a quick measurement on them. They are 74 inches by 30 inches wide, so not bad for a couple of kiddos to be able to sleep on these bunks. The top bunk has a light up top, and it also has a couple of USB ports. Down below here, we have a window and a couple of USB ports. And then the weight capacity on these is 300 pounds when sleeping, 200 pounds for storage. And the reason they say that is because when you're driving down the road and bouncing, if you have 300 pounds on here, you might break your bunks because that weight, you know, it's smashing up and down when you're driving down the road. So they only recommend 200 pounds of storage on these bunks. Underneath of the bottom bunk, there's additional storage under there as well. So you can throw things under there, or maybe put the dog kennel under there or something along those lines. Now here I am in the bathroom all the way in the back of this trailer right next to the bunk beds. And this is a very basic camper, but it's very inexpensive as well. And so as I'm standing in here, there's one really cool feature, and that is that it's got a bathtub. So if you have a couple of little kids, or I don't know, maybe you have a small dog that you need to wash off once in a while, this would be a perfect spot for that. Now, as far as ceiling height in here goes, we have a little, you know, a little open vent here. It doesn't have a fan in it or anything, but it does open up to let some humidity out. And if we measure up into this from the bottom of the bathtub, we have 6 feet 4 inches of headroom. And let's get the headroom in the entire camper from the floor to ceiling, and that's 6 feet 6 inches. So, you know, pretty good for some of you taller guys. You might be able to fit in here pretty well. The shower itself is just very basic. It's got a shower wand. There's no real shower surround in here. It's just the regular walls that are in here, and they're caulked in position so any moisture can't get through the corners and behind there to create any problems. You'll need to make sure you maintain your rig on a regular basis. If that caulk cracks at all, then water can get back there. So you'll have to do a good job of making sure you're all caulked up so you don't have any water problems. This also comes with a shower curtain, but it's on a track that actually goes out and away from the shower, so it gives you a little bit more room in here when the shower curtain is closed. Now, there is no sink in this bathroom because they're trying to save space. It's a smaller size travel trailer, so I would probably just mount, you know, a hand sanitizer thing on the wall, and after you're done using the restroom, you can get some hand sanitizer, wash your hands, and you're good to go. I'd probably also mount maybe some hooks on the walls for all your towels and washcloths to dry out when you're not using them. You could even mount a medicine cabinet on the wall in here. You can buy a medicine cabinet at you know, any Home Depot for under $100 and mount it on the wall, and then there you go. You have some more storage inside your bathroom. As far as sitting on the commode goes, not going to pass the elbow test on my left, but on the right-hand side, I've got plenty of room. Now here we are outside of this camper, and as I mentioned, under the bed up front, we lifted up the mattress and saw that big storage area. And then this is your door where you can access that same storage area from outside your camper. This travel trailer is the Forest River Salem FSX, model number 174 BHLE. As you can see, the MSRP is $23,697, but that's not the sales price. The unloaded vehicle weight is 2,899 pounds. The cargo carry capacity is 981 pounds for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 3,880 pounds. The hitch weight is just 380 pounds. It measures in at 20 feet, 1 inch long, and it can sleep up to 5 people. The gray tank capacity is 30 gallons. Black tank is also 30 gallons, and the freshwater tank is 39 gallons. When you first walk into this travel trailer, on the right-hand side is where the bedroom area is located. Then we wrap on around through the living area, kitchen area. To my left are the bunks, and behind me is the bathroom. Now, our first impression when we walked into this travel trailer is really, it's a terrific camper for a family to get away on a nice weekend and have a great adventure while they're out camping. And for this price point, it really comes with everything you need. It doesn't come with any frills, and it's not a luxury camper or anything, but it does have everything that you need in here for a great camping time. Now, I also want to point out that there are no slide outs in here either. And so that helps to cut down on the cost of the trailer, but it also cuts down on any maintenance that you might need to do, or you don't have to worry about your slide out breaking on you, and now you've got to perform service work on your rig. And so, you know, there's positives and negatives to everything. But if you're looking for a small, inexpensive camper that's easy to tow and might be really good for a beginner who's just getting into RVing, you know, this is really a good option for you. Now, starting at the right-hand side over here where your bed is located, you've got a wardrobe cabinet located on the right-hand side here, so you can hang your garments in there. And then they have a nice big open shelf overhead for your storage. Down below that, we have a little bit of an end table here on the right-hand side. And there is an electrical outlet up here, so if you needed to plug in any electronics before you go to bed at night, you could easily do that. Now, the bed here can lift up, and then you've got all this nice big storage area underneath of here. It is also accessible from an outside door, but we'll take a look at that at the end of the tour when we go outside and look around a little bit. And let's get a measurement on this bed while we're here. All right, we got 74 inches and 60 inches wide. And so that will be considered a short RV queen size bed, very typical size for a travel trailer. Now, this is also known as an east to west bed setup. It just means that the bed goes from side to side instead of from front to back. Now, the advantage of these side-to-side beds is that they save a lot of room inside of your camper. The disadvantage to them is that the person that sleeps towards the front of the camper may disturb their partner if they have to get up in the middle of the night and use the bathroom. I don't really think that's such a big deal. If I got up in the middle of the night, Susan and I get out of our bed on different sides in our RV, doesn't matter. I still wake her up when I get up, so what's the difference? But you'll have to decide that for yourself. Also, I want to point out that the mattress that this RV comes with it's only like, I don't know, maybe 2.5 inches of a foam kind of mattress. You will not be comfortable on this mattress. I can promise you that. You probably won't even, you'll make it through your first weekend, but you'll be taking some ibuprofen, I'm sure. So you're going to need to buy a new mattress in a camper like this. In fact, almost every camper comes with a crappy mattress in it, so you always have to buy a new mattress. If you're going to do that, I suggest you head on over to our website, sign up for all of our weekly newsletters and everything, because we send out discount codes for mattresses and all kinds of stuff that you need for your RV. So if you want to join in on all the fun, just head on over to RVblogger.com. Right on the homepage, you can scroll down and you can sign up to be a part of the fun. You'll also get tons of interesting information and tips and hacks about how to be a better RVer. But the stuff we use ourselves that we recommend to the folks that are on our newsletter list, we also reach out to those manufacturers and get discounts. So if you want to get discounts on mattresses and all that stuff, join the fun, join the club, and you'll get all that great info for your RV. Now, also up front here, there is one more thing to note. On my right over here is where the TV would be mounted on the wall. They've got the rack or the holder here already, and then you've got an outlet up top with your cable here. So that's a great spot, right? You can lay in bed at night and be able to see the TV just fine, or you can sit over here on your sofa area and enjoy watching your TV as well. Now, here we are at your sofa area, and this actually serves as a sofa and a dinette in here. When we were just looking at the bed, there's a table laying on the bed. That's a freestanding table that can be set up right here in front of the couch. So, like I mentioned, you could sit here and with your table in front, enjoy a meal and be able to see the TV. Or, you know, you can put the table away and just sit here on your couch and watch a little bit of TV. The other nice thing about a freestanding table is if you need it outside, then you can use your table out there as well. So it's very versatile and really helps out with your camping trip. Now, up top here, we've got this nice big cabinet. This is really one big cabinet here. And, you know, since this is more of an inexpensive kind of camper, it doesn't have the hardware that holds the doors up while you're reaching in. So literally got to hold the door with one hand while you reach and get whatever you want out of here. You can easily buy the hardware that will make the doors stay in the up position. It's very easy to install. You can buy it on Amazon or you can buy it at Home Depot. I'll even throw a link in the show notes down below for that hardware if you're interested in buying it for your RV. So even if you got a brand new RV and you're saving a ton of money because the price point on this is so low, you can still do some things to it to make it more convenient and easier for you to use. Now down below here, we have a pretty nice size window here. This has a screen, it'll open up and you can get some nice ventilation in here. There's also, I forgot to mention, another window over the bed. Same deal, you can open that up and get some cross ventilation through here too. Now underneath of the sofa here, you can lift the cushions off and all of that is open and available for storage. Now here we are across from the sofa into the kitchen area, and starting up top here we have a really nice big cabinet here. Same deal, it doesn't have the hardware that will leave the door up so you can easily access things, but again, you can switch that out. Below that we have a couple of outlets here, and then you've got sort of a nice big top here on top of the refrigerator location. Now there's no microwave oven in here, so I would imagine this will be a really great spot if you're into microwaving. You could bring a countertop microwave or buy one for your camper. They're just, you know, less than a couple $100. Plug it in right here and then you've got your microwave oven if you need one. Over top of the sink here we have this nice window and a really good size gooseneck faucet here that also swivels. And the sink size is a little bit small, but you know, hey, it's a small camper. You'll certainly be able to wash your dishes in here, no problem. And you've got a little bit of countertop space here because they use the burner setup that goes from front to back instead of side to side. And so we save some room inside of the camper. Down below your cooktop, you've got some nice full extension drawers here for all of your kitchen utensils. And they even have a fireplace built in here. So whether you're laying in bed at night or sitting on your sofa, you'll be able to see the fireplace from wherever you are. And as another nice feature, the fireplace does kick out a good amount of heat. We have one in our Class A RV and it's terrific. It really heats things up in there for us. So if you're camping in the shoulder seasons, you know, early spring, late fall, this will help keep you nice and warm. I don't believe this camper is a 4-season at all, so I don't think you'd be able to camp in it in the winter time. And if you did, I don't think that the fireplace heat would really keep you warm all night long anyway. Now the refrigerator here is just a basic fridge. It's got one little spot up here for a couple of ice trays. I don't know about you, but for me and Susan, we would need a lot more ice than we could make in our little freezer section here. So up top here, I might even put a countertop ice maker, and that way we'd have plenty of ice for the whole weekend. I wrote an article all about the 5 best countertop ice makers. I used to have one, and so you can check that out. I'll put a link in the notes below about that. So if you're in the market for one of those, at least you'll get some good recommendations. Now the bunk beds that are here, we look for 4 major features with bunk beds. Number 1, we like to see a window. Number 2, we like to see an electrical outlet. Number 3, we like to see a light. And then number 4, we like to see some USB ports. Now this has 3 out of 4 of those features in the top bunk, which is pretty good. You know, you could always plug something in that's an HDMI cord adapter or a USB adapter, and then the kids could charge up their tablets or phones at night if they need to. Now the bottom bunk has only 2 out of the 4 features. It's got a light and it has an electrical outlet down there. But the bottom bunk also has a really cool feature where you can lift it up and then you can bungee cord it up against the wall, and then you have all of this area that you can use under here for storage. Now, I was poking around a little bit and I didn't see a sticker in here anywhere that gives the weight ratings on these bunks. Very often the weight rating on them is 300 pounds. Sometimes they're 250. I'm going to guess, since this is all wood construction, this is probably going to be 250 pound maximum weight limit, both top and bottom. And that's dead weight. That means that after you've gotten to the campground and you're parked, someone that weighs up to 250 pounds could sleep on these bunks and not hurt them. But a lot of folks use their bunk areas for storage while they're driving down the road. That's why this bottom bunk folds up and out of the way. If you were to put a lot of stuff on this top bunk, I would just try to keep the load a little bit lighter so you don't hurt the bunk while you're dead weight is bouncing up and down on this while you're driving down the highway at 65 miles an hour. So here we are all the way in the back of this trailer next to the bunk beds, and we're in the bathroom. And this is just a very basic bathroom, but it will certainly get the job done. Starting from the top here, we have a fan opening, so you can open your lid, turn on the exhaust fan, and get any humidity out of here when you're taking a shower. But let's get some measurements in here while I'm standing here. Now, you guys know I'm 5'11", and but I still have plenty of room over my head. So up into the fan opening, you've got about 6 feet 5 inches. From the shower stall to the ceiling in here, you got about 6 feet 1 inch. And the normal ceiling height throughout the entire RV from the floor to the ceiling is 6 feet 6 inches tall. A couple of other measurements for some of you folks that are interested. The shower runs about 24 inches deep, and then the width on it is 36 inches wide. So this is a great size shower for a smaller travel trailer. It's just very basic though. They don't even have a shower surround in here. They have just the trailer walls that they're using, and then they've gone and caulked the corners really well just to make sure no water gets through the corners and then behind your shower, which could cause some big problems for you. Now, if you're worried about that, you can always go and buy your own shower surround and install it yourself. I mean, at this price point, you know, spend a couple $100 on a shower surround is not a big deal. They're easy to install, and then you can just put it in here, and that will protect your shower from having any moisture problems as well. Now, they've also got just a plain shower head in here with a wand. That's pretty typical, but there's no shelves or anything in here for soaps or shampoos. Susan and I happen to use like a wall mounted soap dispenser in both our Class A RV and at home in our house. And it's got 4 spots in there for liquid soaps and shampoos, and you just push the button and the soap comes out. But it's nice because it's up, it's out of the way, it doesn't interfere with where we're showering. So I'll put a link to that in the notes down below if you're interested in picking one of those up. Also, they've gone ahead and put in a shower curtain in here, and again, at this price point, that's not surprising at all. They're trying to save money and keep the price down. You could also add a retractable shower door on your own after the fact as well. They're not difficult to install at all, and they just cost around a couple $100. I'll put a link in the notes down below to some good retractable shower doors if you're interested in those. Now, finally, here I am sitting on the commode, and you know, there's no other storage in this bathroom at all. There's really nothing in here. So you could buy a medicine cabinet and put it on the wall in here. Maybe put some shelves up high for some open storage so you can stow away some of your personal belongings, as well as maybe extra TP or toilet chemicals, stuff like that. So you kind of have to add a few things in here to really bolster up the storage to make it work for you. Now, sitting on the toilet here, I'm not going to pass the elbow test on my left, but on my right hand side we have flying colors. So here we are outside of this camper, and there is the front storage compartment that we looked at inside when we lifted up the mattress. So there's also a door on the outside of the trailer that you can access that same area, and this is a good sized door. It's wide enough that you'll be able to easily access all your camping gear. Hey guys, let us know which one of these travel trailers you like the most and why in the comments down below. We would love to hear your thoughts about what you like about these travel trailers, and also what you might like to change about them, because we can all learn from one another in the process. And the manufacturers know that we shoot reviews, so they read through the comments as well, and they actually do read what you have to say and make improvements over the years. So put your comments down below. We would love to hear from all of you. But if you want to check out even more travel trailers that weigh less than 4,000 pounds, just click the box down below, and Susan and I will see you in the next video.